Welcome to a new episode of Diet Myths. I'm Dr. Rula Barake from the SMAN Diabetes Institute, and it gives me great pleasure to host today's episode of Diet Myths. And today I shall be talking about snacking. Given our modern life, the challenges mothers and fathers have, we know that it becomes very difficult for us to really plan our meals. Parents need to work. Their working hours spill over the regular working hours. They have to teach the kids, they have to take them to school, back and forth, take them to their ballet classes or soccer game or music class. So the time is no longer available like we used to utilize it previously. This has led to abandoning the classic three meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it raised a new culture of grazing all day or having small meals, which we call snacks. So are snacks good for you or bad for you? Scientists think that it is contributing to the increase in waistline and increase in your weight. So in this episode, we will try to look deeper into the matter and see whether it does contribute to increasing the appetite, increasing the consumption of calories, or whether it does really suppress the appetite where people will eat less. Because it became a fact that people snack, and we know that they are likely to either snack alone or snack with some of the meals, if not all the meals. Please stay tuned and you'll get to know more about the topic shortly. Welcome to the second segment of our episode about snacking and diet myths. And we talked the previous segment about whether snacking is good or bad for you. Actually, science has proven that snacks can either be your best friend or your worst enemy depending on you. It's your snacking choices that determine whether it will make you put on weight or reduce weight. So, in one large study that included 550 adult men and women who were overweight or obese, and it tracked their snacking behavior using a smartphone application. So it was found on average people snack for around 15 hours a day, those who really replaced meals or had snacks with their meals. And just a short or a small bit of advice that was given to them to shorten the number of hours snacking from 15 to 10 to 11. So just cutting back on snacking frequency, the number of snacks, people lost weight, and not only that, they reported that their sleeping pattern improved. The study took it a step further by really looking into the content or the quality of snacks. And they asked people to snack whatever they opted to during the day, but around dinner time, let's say 7 o'clock or perhaps 8 o'clock, after that, if they wanted to snack, they were not allowed to have carbohydrates in their snack. So it's mainly protein, fiber, or any other thing, but not carbohydrate. People even lost more weight. So snacking, even for those who snack, if you cut back on the number of the snacks or you cut back on the quality of the food you're opting to snack on after dinner, not before that, you are likely to lose weight. Please stay tuned and we'll give you more about the quality of snack, how to snack for better weight loss. Dear viewers, welcome to the third part of Diet Myths, and we're talking about snacks today. So we said you can snack and still lose weight, but how to snack smartly to be able to lose weight? The first strategy would be fuel up on proteins. Try to make your snack rich in proteins. And how would you do that? If you power up on proteins like eggs, for example, nuts, they're rich in proteins, maybe cheese, but not carbs, you're likely to lose weight. And I found a beautiful analogy written by Elizabeth Sousa, who is a healthcare professional who advises people about dieting. And she made this analogy that your metabolism or your body is like a fire, or it's like, let's say, a stove. If you throw in carbohydrates like sweets, candy and chocolates, it's like throwing throwing paper into the fire. So it will burn fast, but it won't last longer. If you throw in a protein, a piece of meat, chicken, eggs or cheese, it's like a wooden log that stays longer. It will burn steadily, slowly, but it will give you consistent energy and heat over a longer period of time without really suffering, feeling hungry all the time. A second strategy would be to fill up on fiber, soluble fiber found in legumes like lentils, chickpeas, beans, or found in potatoes and strawberries, is more likely to help you lose weight and keep your blood sugar consistent, so you won't suffer from high spikes of your blood sugar that may tamper with your appetite. A third strategy is, of course, eat smartly when you eat sweets, so don't overdo it with sweets. And lastly, I would advise you to have the fruits earlier in the morning. They're richer in sugar, so the simpler kind of sugar coming from fruit, try to have them in your morning snacks, lunch snacks, and try to have more of the complex carbohydrates. We mean by that whole grain or sweet potatoes or oatmeal later during the day, or maybe later at evening just before lunch. So then you again will have consistent source of energy that will not increase your blood sugar, yet will help you snack without putting on weight. And you don't have to really worry about snacking. You can still snack and lose weight. Thank you, and hope to see you in another episode. Dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of Diet Myths. I'm Dr. Rula Barakeh from the Sman Diabetes Institute from the Nutrition Department. And today we'll be talking about meal planning to lose weight. How important it is for you to plan your meal to lose weight.
As the cost of living creeps up and cases of obesity heightens, healthy meal planning has become highly essential.
It may be tempting to cut corners at the grocery or just opt for bargain goodies at times, but you also have to think twice before buying whatever is cheapest.
Risking your family's health by loading your cart with bargain foods isn't at all worth it.
Therefore, you have to ascertain that whatever you prepare in the table contains only good quality and healthy foods.
Here are good and simple ways to make meal planning possible.
1. Make your own snack packs. This is suitable for people who are always on the go.
Filling small baggies with less than 200 calories of wheat bread or crackers instead of buying ready-made foods loaded with significant amounts of calories is highly suggested.
This healthy meal planning gives you the assurance that what you're eating is healthy and of good quality.
2. Eat meat in moderation. Beef, red meat, and other poultry products should be taken sparingly.
So if you're planning your family's meals, it is best that you serve meat dishes at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Having too many meat foods for the whole week does not only boost your bill, but could also be a big threat to your health.
3. Put everything in writing. Create a list of healthy menus to cook for the whole week before heading off to the supermarket.
Doing so will help you avoid buying foods that are not part of your meal plan. Being organized at all times makes it much easier for you to plan your daily and weekly dishes.
4. Stick to the meal plan. Cook only foods that are listed on your daily or weekly plan.
Preparing meals that are out of the chart will only ruin the entire meal planning objective.
Thus, if you're tempted to skip a planned meal for the day, make it a point that you replace it with a dish that is equally healthy.
Healthy meal planning isn't really a hard thing to do as long as you know how to reinvent, make meal replacements, and come up with healthy food options.
So we know as dietitians, nutritionists, and healthcare professionals how difficult it is for you to change your eating habits overnight. And I just want to reassure you that we hear you, we feel you, we understand that it's not an easy thing to change your eating habits. How many times have you said, I'm going to start my diet on Monday or Sunday, depending on where you live? Usually the first day of the week, we plan, we're going to diet on this day. And the Sunday or Monday never comes. Because when we start our day, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, okay, I'll postpone it to next Sunday. So my advice is, please try to plan over the weekend. This would help you really start on Sunday or Monday or any day of your choice. So on weekends, you're less likely to have a busy schedule, and there are strategies that may help you if you opt to do that. One of these strategies is to fill out a form or a template. You can find it on the internet, or just ask your dietitian and she will help you through this process. Write on a piece of paper what you're planning to eat all throughout the week. Then put the food items, the shopping list you need to do. If you shop earlier, during the weekend, and remember not to shop while you're hungry, you're likely to cut back on buying tempting food. You'll cut back on wasting food because you'll buy only the things you have on your list. You will be doing well with your environment because there are no wasting, and you'll save some money. Please stay tuned and you'll know more strategies that will help you lead a successful dieting plan. Dear viewers, welcome to the second part of our episode Diet Myths, and today we're talking about proper meal planning. So we know that over the weekend you go out with your family, with your kids, with your friends, and you enjoy your time. Don't avoid doing that. Enjoy your time, but plan your meal, as we said, on a sheet of paper or a template. So you've written your food items, and now you'll go and do the shopping. And then you may even consult with your dietitian over a WhatsApp message or over the phone to evaluate whether your choices were correct. If you were following a different diet, fair enough, then it's verified and you know that you're having enough calories. If not, your dietitian will help you distribute the calories over the week. Too much of a hassle? Okay, I'll give you another piece of advice. Plan a meal that has one vegetable serving. So for breakfast, one vegetable, for lunch, one vegetable, for dinner, one vegetable. Another protein serving with breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and avoid frying food items. I guarantee you'll lose weight if you do only that, if you don't want to go through the hassle of preparing a sheet and finding out how many calories you specifically require. A third strategy would be buy and shop in bulk. Some people like to eat the same kind of food, or I'm not sure if they like to do it, but they adopt it as a strategy. If I eat the same food every day during the week, I'm likely to lose weight because the appetite would be suppressed eventually. That might be a good strategy, at least initially, where you need to kick off through a diet. So when you do your shopping on the weekend and not the diet, just the shopping, shop according to your list and then cook the food for the whole week and store it. Please stay tuned. I'll give you a recipe that is guaranteed make you lose weight when you listen to us in the third part of this episode. Dear viewers, welcome to the third part of our episode Diet Myths, and we're talking about planning a meal for a better diet. So you went to the supermarket on Friday or Saturday. According to your list, you bought what you need to do. I'll give you a list that has 7 pieces of chicken breast, preferably skinless. At least a kilo of vegetables. They can be raw vegetables or vegetables that can be steamed, like broccoli, like asparagus, like some bean sprouts. You can do that. A third thing is buy some potatoes. Try to have smaller, a little bit smaller potatoes than your fist. This is a good portion. Or it can be quinoa, or it can be whole grain, so a starch source. You go back home, you're gonna cook all that. The chicken, you marinate it with pepper, with a little bit salt, and you may even drizzle a little bit balsamic vinegar and pop it into the oven for half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. It depends on how you like your chicken cooked, but it will cook thoroughly for half an hour. You take it out. You wash your vegetables. You either steam them, or if they're raw, just keep them in the refrigerator. Of course, you need to wash what you need to do. You know that, of course. Thirdly, the potatoes, you can either steam them, or you can cook your rice, or preferably brown rice or wild rice, and you have the bulk for the whole week. Cut them in or portion them into 7 containers, preferably microwavable ones, and then you can have a little bit of the potatoes, a little bit of the vegetables, and your cooked chicken. For a day or 2 containers, you can keep them in the refrigerator, the other freeze them. Day by day, you can take out your container, pop it into the microwave for a minute, and then remove the chicken and another 2 minutes to 3 minutes for the rest of the vegetables and the potatoes to cook. And you have your meal for every day's lunch. You'll be having no more than 230 calories, and you'll be having around 17 grams of carbohydrate for those with diabetes who want to calculate their carbohydrate content, and you'll have at least 30 grams of protein. That's very good for you as well, and will fill up your stomach and suppress your appetite. And try to have a salad and a yogurt for dinner, and your dietitian will give you 300 calorie breakfast meals. You're all set for a proper weight reducing meal plan with minimal effort, only on the weekend, and you don't have to even think about food. You're guaranteed to lose weight if you follow this diet, and you'll be healthy because you're covering everything you need. Hope to see you in another episode. Thank you. Dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of Diet Myths. I'm Dr. Rula Barakeh from the Sman Diabetes Institute, and today we'll be talking about food storage, because we always talk about healthy food and what you should be eating from a caloric point of view, or the distribution of fat, proteins, and carbohydrate, in addition to fiber and water and other minerals. But we need to know that healthy also includes how you store your food, how you prepare your food.
Refrigeration can damage the texture or flavor of many fruits and vegetables. For example, bananas will turn black, tomatoes will lose flavor, and sweet potatoes will harden. If you like some of your produce chilled, refrigerate them only when you're about to eat them. Some fruits like peaches and avocados will ripen faster outside of the fridge. Once they reach their prime, you can store them for up to 3 days in the fridge without sacrificing any quality. There are some fruits and vegetables that produce a gas called ethylene as they ripen, and other fruits and veggies are sensitive to it, causing them to spoil faster. Apples, pears, and plums produce ethylene, so keep them separate from broccoli, green beans, and lettuces. Most fridges have bins where you can control the humidity. Unless you want limp lettuce, a good rule of thumb is if it gets misted at the market, keep it in the humidity bin. Mushrooms don't like humidity, so keep them out of the bin and store them in a paper bag. Rules for the rest of the fridge are pretty easy. Keep the fridge below 40 degrees. Since the back is cooler than the front, put dairy there. Place poultry and other meats on a baking tray on the very bottom. If you have seafood, just put it on top. This will prevent dripping and possible cross-contamination. Eggs should be kept in their original carton and not in the door. However, less perishable items like condiments, jams, and sodas should be stored in the door. You can also keep butter you are currently using here, but the rest of it should be stored in a cooler part of the fridge to last longer. Use a leftover case from a 6-pack of beer to help organize sauces and turn it into a tote for your next barbecue. And there you have it, the proper way to refrigerate.
So today in this episode, we will help you learn what is the best storage technique for the different everyday food items we have. Of course, people usually have one of 3 options: either to keep at room temperature at the pantry, or to refrigerate in the fridge, or to freeze foods in the freezer. I'll start by talking about butter. We buy butter from the supermarkets or the co-ops, and it's there in a refrigerator. We go home and we keep it in the refrigerator as well. So is it safe to eat butter if it was kept at room temperature in the pantry? Well, surprisingly enough, yes, you can leave it for a few days outside and still it's safe. And why is that happening? Because butter is mainly fat, and usually bacteria and other organisms, they are found in water. So since the water content is little, you can safely leave your butter for a few days outside without worrying about the food safety. The flavor may be a little bit off, so that is one thing you have to take into consideration. What I would advise you, if you're going to use the butter and it is refrigerated, please take it out a few hours earlier without worrying about safety, because it will soften and it will be better when you use it in your cooking. It will blend better, especially if you're making a cake or something of the sort, biscuits or cakes or other stuff that would require butter. Please stay tuned for more food items in the coming segments. Dear viewers, welcome to the second segment of our episode Diet Myths, and today we're talking about food storage. Cheese is another food item that we like, and we have it almost on daily basis, most of us. So if it's a soft cheese, it can last from 1 to 3 weeks. Harder cheeses stay longer. If you buy them in bulk, you can freeze them, no worries about that. It will extend the shelf life. If you want to eat them, keep them in the wrapper. If you unwrap, slice your piece you want to have, tightly wrap it again and keep it in a drawer that is away from other foods, because cheeses usually pick on flavors from other foods. So if you want your cheese with the full flavor, keep it in a separate drawer. So cheese can be left in a refrigerator or a freezer. Eggs. Now we buy our eggs stored in a fridge usually, but this depends really on the manufacturer and the preparation. If eggs are washed, they have to be kept in a fridge. Otherwise, they will sweat, meaning they will have some water on them, and when the water oozes out, bacteria or mold may grow on it, so it becomes not so safe to consume or not safe at all to consume. So if it is washed, keep it in a refrigerator. Usually if you buy it from a refrigerator, most likely the regulations mean in this country they wash it before refrigerating it, so it's safer to keep it in a refrigerator. Meat. We eat meat almost on a daily basis. If you're eating meat, freeze it. If you're planning to eat it within 2 days, you can refrigerate it. To thaw it, you have to get it out of the freezer and place it in a refrigerator in the lower drawer, because you don't want the juices that ooze out of the meat to, these drippings, go to other food and contaminate it. If you want to thaw it under running water, then you put it in a bag that is leak-proof under running water. Do not, and I repeat, do not keep your meat on the counter to thaw. Either the fridge or the cold water or the microwave. If you're going to eat it within 2 days, refrigerate. More than that, in the freezer. So the verdict, freezer or refrigerator. Please stay tuned and we'll let you know more about other food items. Dear viewers, welcome to the third segment of our episode Diet Myths, and we're talking about storage of common foods we eat. Bread. It has always been confusing people whether to keep it in the fridge or on the countertop or in the freezer. Actually, keeping the bread in the fridge will make it stale faster. So either on the countertop outside or freeze it if you choose to keep it in the freezer. If you want to buy bread in bulk, you can freeze it there. But remember, when you get it out, do not put it in the fridge because it won't live long and the flavor would be off. Another thing, so the verdict would be pantry or freezer rather than any other option. Coffee, and a lot of people wonder whether they should freeze it or keep it in the refrigerator if they open the container. The Coffee Association people say no, keep it in a dry, cool place, but not in a refrigerator. So you can put it in a dark container, in a dark place, not humid, dry place, and you're guaranteed fresh coffee every time you brew coffee. Another food item that people really are not sure about storage, of course I get these questions from patients who visit us here at the Sman Diabetes Institute, it's jams. So if you're buying a jam container, you can leave it as long as you want in the pantry, as long as it is sealed. Once opened, it has to be refrigerated. So make sure if you open your jam, have it in the fridge, and the verdict would be countertop or the refrigerator. We have the ketchup and mustard. Well, you all know and you see them in restaurants kept outside because they are acidic, so they're likely to stay fresh at room temperature or in the pantry, so you can keep it there. But if you're not planning to use it regularly, then refrigeration may restore freshness at all times. Other sauces, hot sauces, if they're vinegar based, they should be kept outside. If they're chili based, they should be kept in the refrigerator. Otherwise, the taste would give you an off taste or an off smell if you do that. Peanut butter, if homemade, but I haven't come across anyone in Kuwait who does their homemade peanut butter. So if it is manufactured, you can leave it at room temperature, no worries about that, but not longer than 3 months. If you're not likely to eat peanuts and finish the container in 3 months, your best option is to refrigerate it then. So the verdict would be refrigerator or pantry. I hope that I've captured most of the things people use on daily basis, and I hope that you know now how to store it to guarantee the best flavor, food safety, and freshness. Hope to see you in other episodes. Thank you very much.